Hi, this is Abbas from India Someday. What we've done is we've prepared a short video FAQ for questions that you will have regarding your travel, especially after you see the travel plan, the travel Excel sheet that you just received. And in addition to answering the frequently asked questions that guests usually have, there's just a few more other important questions that would be pertinent to your trip. So I'm just going to quickly explain what the Excel sheet, the things that the Excel sheet covers. The first thing you will notice, basically what we've done is we've pulled the date that you start your trip to the date that you end your trip. We've tried to fill it in with the places that you're going to visit, with the name of the cities, a short description, and then we've put in links to the hotels that you'll be staying at, so you can click and visit the website of the hotel. We've also inserted TripAdvisor reviews for each hotel that you'll be staying at, and in the column after that, we've given you a complete breakdown of the price for each night at each hotel, and it also kind of tells you whether taxes, breakfast, some other meals are included or not included. We've also included all the travel component, the flights that are included, what's the price of the flight, trains that are included, price of the trains, and wherever you have a car segment. And finally, we will add it all together, added our consultation fee, and that kind of gives you the sum total of your entire trip. The main reason why we do this is so that we get to a rough travel plan, because it's important for us to try and present to you exactly how much you can fit in the number of days that you have. The initial reaction that guests usually have after viewing the Excel sheet is this the final travel plan? And I always tell them that no, this is not the final travel plan. We can modify this in most ways possible. So we have guests asking us like a range of questions, sometimes pointing out at a particular hotel, telling us that maybe this is too expensive and can we look at a slightly cheaper substitute. Or sometimes we have guests who want to stay in boutique hotels all through and do not mind spending a little more money. And they come back and they tell us, can we substitute this hotel for a slightly more expensive hotel? And we can do that. You might see that there's no train journey included in your trip and you might want that. So you might ask us for that. Or sometimes there is a train journey included and you're a little skeptical about it. So people ask us, what is a train journey like? You might want to add a destination. Your friend might have told you about a destination who's just visited India. So we are free to discuss whatever travel ideas you have. This is basically put into like a little Excel sheet so that it's a starting point towards your holiday. Another question that most guests usually have is, what does a travel quote include? The travel quote includes usually your accommodation. So every night that you're staying at every hotel, all of your accommodation is included. All of your internal flights, all the amount for that is included. For your train travel is included, and our consultation fees are included. What is not included is personal expenses, meals that are not mentioned. If you hire the services of a guide, in most cases in your travel plan, you might see that for a few days of your trip between few destinations, we've mentioned about a car hire. Most of our guests are concerned whether they would be driving this car. Well, no, you would not be driving, you would have a driver. So the car quote includes the car hire for 4 days or 5 days, the number of days that you have the car. It includes a dedicated driver. It includes all fuel costs and all road tolls. Actually, it's extremely convenient having a driver. These are all English-speaking drivers. They speak basic English. You can also use these cars for internal sightseeing. So let me kind of explain this. If you're hiring a car between Delhi, Agra, Jaipur, and say up to a city called Pushkar. When you go to Agra, you can use the car for all the sightseeing around Agra, to go to the Agra Fort, to go to Taj Mahal, to go to Fatehpur Sikri. When you're in Jaipur and if you want to do sightseeing 30 kilometers away from Jaipur, you can use the car. If you find something that's worth to visit and is on the way between Agra and Jaipur, you can visit that and for a local sightseeing, and then ultimately drops you in Pushkar. However, what it does not include is the sightseeing on your first day and your last day. So if the car's picking you up from Delhi, that day it would just drive you to Agra. It would not include sightseeing in Agra. And if the car is dropping you in Pushkar, it would not include sightseeing in Pushkar. It would just drop you in Pushkar. The next question guests have is, so the days that we don't have a car, how do we manage our sightseeing? So say your last day is in Pushkar and you don't have a car. It's usually very easy to organize a car or a rickshaw from the hotel itself. They have a well published day rate where you can rent a car for like half a day sightseeing or a full day sightseeing. Again, it would include fuel prices, it would include the driver. At every instance, at every city, through your hotel, through your homestay, you can organize a car for the day. So how would you plan your sightseeing when you visit a particular city, and how do you plan what you want to see and what are the things to see? So here we encourage all our guests to be highly involved in their travel. So most of our guests do carry a guidebook. We encourage them to read things online, especially wiki travel. In addition, what we do is we provide an India Summary tips document. These are basically compiled by Harsh, me and people on my team. When we went to a particular city, the sites that we liked, why we liked them, and also kind of giving you a time indication on how long it would take you to visit this site. So if you're going to visit the Amber Fort in Jaipur, is it going to take you just an hour, or is it going to take you 3 or 4 hours? Because this kind of helps you plan your entire day. In addition, we've also mentioned restaurant recommendations and places to eat, with also directions on how to get there. So while this will be extremely helpful, we still do encourage you to do your own research, but in itself these documents are very handy for you to plan your day. In addition, the hotel is always a very useful point of contact to help you plan your day. They'll usually be able to tell you which are the places to visit, in what order you should visit, which is walking distance, where you need a car. So you can always speak to the reception, speak to the hotel owners, and they'll be able to help you. So once you get to a destination, most of these towns are quite tourist friendly. So you would really not have a problem planning your day. Should you hire a guide? Should you not hire a guide? This question really depends city to city. In the big metropolitans, if you are in Bombay or if you are in Delhi, we usually encourage hiring a guide, because it's difficult to get around and it's nice to have someone show you around the city. In a lot of smaller towns, say for instance Udaipur, it's easy to navigate and to get around. The big monuments like the City Palace have excellent audio guides. You can also walk around the palace by yourself. So most of the smaller towns, you usually do not need a guide. Most of the monuments have an audio guide. As a rule, at a lot of places, whenever we've visited and we've come across the services of a good guide, we would give you these recommendations. For instance, in Agra, we know about a guide, and he has a team of 10 guides who offer excellent guided services of the Taj Mahal, of the Red Fort, of Fatehpur Sikri, and we'll always send you their contacts, and you can just tell us if you would like the guided tour, and we can book it for you, and you can pay them directly. Regarding the next steps after this, so you have the Excel sheet, and I try to explain you the Excel sheet and the various components and the frequently asked questions. What we really need you to do is go through that Excel sheet. Look at the places. You can Google each of these destinations to get a feel for what they are. You can read them up in your guidebook. Do spend time on going on the hotel websites. We're very careful to recommend hotels that are ranked and rated really well on TripAdvisor. So do read their reviews. Give us your feedback on hotels. A lot of times guests like most of the hotels that we select. Like I mentioned earlier, sometimes guests want to modify a few hotels. Let us know about that. Basically, if you can review the Excel sheet, let us know that hey, it looks fine, or hey, we want to add a destination, or hey, we want to modify a hotel, and we'll take this. In our experience, usually after the first travel plan, we have about 3 to 5 email exchanges where we fine tune further and we reach the final travel plan. Once we reach the final travel plan and we have your consensus that this is your plan of travel, these are the flights you will be taking, the trains you will be taking, we go to the booking stage, where we'll first book your flight tickets to ensure that the flight prices do not increase, and book your train tickets. Immediately send you e-tickets of your flights and your train tickets, and then we proceed to book all your hotels. Once we book all your hotels, we will send you an updated Excel sheet, and we'll send you India Someday hotel vouchers for each. So one important thing that we would like our guests to know is about the hotels. So when you first receive the travel plan Excel sheet, all your hotels are mentioned with the links. At this point of time, we've still not confirmed the bookings with the hotels, because the dates might get changed if we add a new destinations. It's honestly just a lot of effort to pre-confirm the bookings even before our guests have given their consensus to these bookings. So do expect, and there might be instances when you confirm the entire trip and you confirm the choice of hotels, where we might come back to you and tell you that while 90% of your hotels or 80% of your hotels we can get it as per the Excel sheet, there might be a couple of hotels where we cannot get rooms because they're sold out. We give you alternative options, equally good options, rank well on TripAdvisor, seek your advice, approval, and then confirm those hotels. Also, sometimes what does happen is in terms of room availability, for instance in Varanasi, we always like to book the room with a full Ganges view. But sometimes when we do contact the hotel after the 5-day that it takes to get the approval from the guest, that room might be sold out. In which case we would have to confirm a room which has, say, a side Ganges view. So do account for that. Do account for like modifications in a few bookings. So once we do confirm all your bookings, we give you a set of vouchers for each of your hotel bookings, one voucher for each hotel, and it kind of looks like this, and which has your name mentioned, has the check-in and the check-out date for which hotel you're going to be staying in, the name under which the booking is made, the name of the hotel, the address, because that's very useful to have handy, the contact number, whether it includes breakfast, taxes. It's usually always prepaid, so mention about that. And when you get to the hotel and when you're checking in, you just need to present this voucher, one voucher at each hotel, and they give you a room in exchange. What we've also done is we have this little section of special remarks, which kind of tells you the days on which we've rented a car for you. Sometimes if you have to pay a part payment directly to a car, that's kind of mentioned. If you have a train, say that evening, that kind of just reminds you that you have a train from this station, that you can just speak to the hotel and they can organize a pickup or a drop for you and drop you to the railway station. If you have a flight the next day, we just kind of remind you that you have a flight for the next day. This really becomes quite handy. When you actually travel, you just need, if you're going to go to 8 different destinations, you just need a stack of 8 different vouchers, and as you keep going from a city to city, you just give those vouchers and it has your little information guiding you to your next steps in that particular destination. I think that's about it. I hope this should kind of answer most of your immediate questions, and just feel free to have a look at the Excel sheet, get back to us. We'll typically reply to each of your emails within 24 hours, and we'll get closer to finalizing your travel plan. So it should be fun. Thank you.